Good
Hey
evening, Tom.
everybody, Gutty. Hey everybody. This is our first viewing of Star Trek: The Next Generation. We're almost at the very end here. We've
Yes,
got
we
the
are.
last few episodes. I'm Thomas, and I'm with Mike. How's things going?
Pretty good. How about you?
I'm good.
Good,
And
good, good.
I think we're getting into the rather good episodes. I didn't have too much to complain about these last few episodes that we watched here. But
Absolutely.
how about you set up the first one?
Yeah. So last week we ended with the home soil, and then this one sets up Heart of Glory. And then this stretch of episodes is my comes into some of my absolute favorite, absolute bangers of episodes that I just love. As the veteran watcher joining you on this journey. But basically, this sets up the neutral zone, classic neutral zone episode where we have the Klingons. We kind of understand them, of course, the Ferengi hop back in the mix again. Ferengi were a classic foil in the first season, it seems, and we're coming up
Mhm.
on the tail of that. Bowman
Yep.
is at the helm, which is
Yeah.
no
As
surprise because we have
Mhm.
called out, you
Mhm.
called out, said, these Bowman ones kind of stand out from the
Mhm.
cutting room floor, so to speak.
Mhm. Right. Yeah. Yeah. He's our X-Files guy. That
Absolutely.
yeah, he yeah, this kind of spotlights Worf and his uh his loyalty to the Federation, and
Mhm.
kind of it makes Picard and Riker wonder, okay, well, how far does Worf's loyalty lies? And
Yep.
it's up to Worf to prove himself, and
Yep.
he proves himself indeed.
Yeah, this is like where Worf, the character, starts to become an actual character, and not just not just like a Dwight Schrute type character, an associate to the general manager, like he is to Yar is for now. But yeah, because again, the lore, going into the lore a little bit. Excuse me. Um, Worf is the very first Klingon to go through Starfleet Academy, I believe. I believe that's the history of the episode. But yeah, this was a great one. What were your thoughts
And
on how this rolled out? Obviously, you liked it.
yeah, I like uh, your Shrew comparison. It almost it's very comparable
Yeah. Well, I mean,
to
because
something.
honestly, he kind of he wasn't quite when the show started, if you remember, he wasn't quite like a solid character. He
Mhm,
was it wasn't there for there was an occasional kind of sort of joke that he would kind of punchline
mhm,
once in a while, but like it wasn't quite clear. Like they obviously had this idea and this concept of this character, but when people who know him as the chief of security, that didn't come till later. Obviously, right now, Natasha Yar is I think she's the chief of security,
right,
and she
right.
does okay. She does okay,
Mhm,
but like I don't. I should have done the research, and I think I will next week when we wrap our first season up of Next Generation, but kind of go into like why characters moved on in the real world and go into that. I loosely kind of sort of remember, but that's for next week. But this week, for now, this is like where you start to get the core, the heart of all these characters are they're in place,
mhm,
and it just gets better and better and better from this point. I mean, it has like the first season had a lot of wobbling, was all
mhm,
knees and elbows, so to speak,
mhm,
as it matured through it. But yeah, um,
mhm.
any other thoughts before we go on to the next one?
Um, Actually, I think what's the one before this? Because I think we maybe skipped over.
Home soil was the one before this one, which we covered last week.
Okay,
I believe.
okay.
So yeah, this was Home Soil was the one with the glowing
Okay,
lights
yeah.
and the
All right.
rainbow colored whatever.
Wait, that's 17. What's 18?
What is 18? Oh, you know what? Oh, good grief! Holy crap! You know what? I I don't know what I have such a problem with these episodes and remembering this coming of age. My bad. My
Yeah.
bad. That was my
I
fault. That
was
was
I
my
was
fault.
starting to think, yeah, this is the one that I started with this week.
Yeah. We this was episode 2 this week. We covered 4 this week, and that was my fault. That was my fault. The first one
That's
though
cool. That's
was
cool.
coming of age. Sorry. I they're honestly they're I have to go back and look at my notes from last week, and then I don't know why, but I guess I clicked on the next one after this. It is what it is. Anyway,
That's cool. Yeah, so so this one, um they kind of question Picard's command in this one, and a parallel to the storyline of them kind of investigating Picard, they have Wesley going into his first attempt at the academy. And the one thing that I definitely pulled from it is if you could pull up that picture like right underneath the guy in between, yeah, that one. Yeah,
Maddox
that one right
or
there.
not
Yeah.
Maddox,
Yeah. Wherever that
Maddox.
character is, he's for the whole episode he is playing his Game Boy. Uh for the whole episode. I don't know what was going on there, but he was playing that Game Boy and putting his judgment over everybody else in the on the Enterprise there.
He reminds me of a character we'll come into later. Very smarmy, kind of uh, uh, expert, expert. Come on board the ship and tell them how to do that. You know, kind of like we were like, you got a little bit to learn. Is usually how it goes,
Yeah,
but
yeah, that kind of played for me for the longest time on the episode, but the interesting thing at the end, he he put his kind of his thing in at the end. He is like, oh, I would really love to be on the Enterprise. I'd like to have a
right, right.
serve on the Enterprise. He really didn't understand
That's true.
his influence, how he is perceived on the bridge of the Enterprise, which is kind of interesting character arc for that character, even though it's so small and was contained for that particular episode. But the fact that he had this commandeering aspect on the episode, but he really he really just wanted to belong. Was kind of interesting.
Yeah, it kind of shows shines a light that if you want to be on the Enterprise, there is a specific set of criteria that makes you stand apart from other Starfleet officers. And I'm gonna God help us all because I'm about ready to get nerdy in this mug. But you know, there's a certain amount of humility and whole complete characterness, or characters that are strongly on that path already to bettering themselves or to understanding who and what they are. Um, and this kind of shows it. Folks that kind of come in like this guy, Dexter, whatever his name is, the character's name, Lieutenant Commander. Um, don't they didn't grasp onto that, and they're never going to be a part of the crew or whatever because they don't understand that they're missing some other really because the lore again is you have to be the creme de la creme for the captain to pick you to be on the flagship of Starfleet Enterprise. Anyway, I won't belabor it any longer than that. But aside from that, like, again, we see Wesley's Crusher strongly develop over season 1 for sure.
Yeah.
He gets a little bit better every time, and kind of I'm putting aside the shut up Wesley kind of Wil Wheaton sucks kind of talk, kind of shoving that to this side because it's not germane to this episode in my opinion.
Yeah, and in this episode, like he's going through the academy test, and one of the characters that were going along with the academy with him expressed some difficulty, and Wesley kind of helps him through it, and he ends up winning the whole thing. And there's like this whole thing where the guy says, well, I don't know if I should be able to accept this since Wesley helped me and all that. But I think that adds to his character in that he's willing to give them to himself at the expense of himself, to the betterment of someone else. And there's a whole scene where him and Picard kind of touch base, and Picard says, well, I didn't actually get through with my first thing with the academy myself. So
Right.
there's like
Right.
this kind of touching moment between the two of them, which was nice.
Yeah, you see that, you see the this facade of Picard, who's the commander and knows what to do and everything and all this stuff, and he kind of lets the curtain slip a little bit to kind of see behind what's behind,
Yeah.
like what made this
Yeah.
man so great, what made this captain so great. Instead of like, really, you had failure? I would have never guessed. It's just this interweaving of characters and why they're
Right.
important, and kind of,
Yeah.
and in some ways kind of passing the torch on
Mhm.
from him to Wesley in a certain kind of way, I guess. I don't know.
Mhm.
I don't want to get too philosophical, but
Right. Yeah, it was a fun episode. It was definitely, it wasn't one of the bad episodes of of this first season.
yeah, this one, and then probably in later on in later season where he is in Starfleet and he crash lands on a planet with Picard. These are probably one of my two or more favorite. Well, that one is for sure my just general favorite Wesley episodes in general. But yeah, this one was good. And of course, I messed this up, so we we covered one, and then we're kind of due to my lack of attention to detail, we are jumping
Warp
around here.
speed to episode 20.
We are, yeah, we are. Like, God forbid we should have one episode out of alignment or whatever. But anyway, I digress. But yeah, so we covered that one, the Heart of Glory, and then the true third one here is Arsenal of Freedom. This is one of my all-time personal favorite episodes in general. And what were your thoughts on this particular episode?
Yeah, I can't complain too much about it. I mean, you could complain about the maybe the production, that they should have maybe been able to spend more on the production of it to make it look better. But as far as story, the story's solid. As far as what's going on here, yeah, the bad tech demo gone bad is
Right.
basically the storyline.
No AI,
Which is
bad AI.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they get hijinks ensue. They beam down. Somebody gets injured, and then but they realize that they can't get out because of this contraption, this sales demo, and they're locked in demo hell, so to speak. And they, no matter how hard they try to punch at it, it adapts to them, and it has this cat and mouse a little bit until they figure out how to outsmart it. And I think there's an implication that this thing had been kind of running off the rails for a while, that it had destroyed more than one ship or something like that. I don't know, but definitely destroyed its creators. I think that was one of the things that because there was nobody left. It was just this holographic.
Yeah, I think
salesman.
At one point Riker was trying to talk to his fellow command from another ship that was just kind of like they sort of like rematerialized him from the tech demo from a
Right.
previous encounter with them. But yeah, I guess the spotlight is Picard and Crusher sort of like he's trying to him and Crusher fall from when they beam down to try to help him out. They end up in a lower depth center of the planet, and he's trying to help her out. And yeah, it's kind of interesting how they're kind of relating to each other.
Yep. Again, a lot of these little, small, little scenes set
Mhm.
up a much wider, deeper history between these characters, and why, in fact, we should care about this interaction with that, with etc. But yeah, for sure.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. I just love it because I love the technical aspects of it, and I don't know why, I just love it. But this is probably like one of my more
Mhm.
favorite, not counting the first episode, but that doesn't count um, because that starts it all. But this one was
Oh,
like a good solid.
I like it whenever Data was talking to Riker. Is like, oh yeah, I can make it down there. he
Yeah,
he jumps down there with
yeah,
his
yeah.
with his Chaka's
Indrid.
legs. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true. Yeah, and I like that too. I like the ones that kind of show that Data is like us, but not like us. Kind of like
Mhm.
a
Yeah.
superhero aspect
Mhm.
ish. I guess. I guess
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah, I think there's like a scene in this where like there's like a combat where he's like doing something. It's clearly not the guy that plays Data, Brent Spiner, doing the action. And it's totally someone else. But yeah, that was kind of fun to see because it's like one of the tropes of an 80s show. You have to have a stunt double that doesn't look like
Oh,
who's playing the character,
right.
and you
Well, in this
can't.
one, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh yeah, that you can't really CGI in that it's someone else.
Yeah, no, you in fact had I guess Tasha Yar wasn't dragged in black goo this time around on the on
Mhm.
the on the thing, like, or somebody wasn't put in black goo, or there wasn't some all powerful alien presence on the planet that like called the shots until they solved the riddle or something, like something like that. But yeah, I like this one. Yeah, so you enjoy this one as well.
Yeah, I
Cool,
enjoyed it.
cool, awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that brings us to the last one this week that we're covering.
Mhm.
This is a Symbiosis,
Mhm.
and basically, again, this is kind of like, I hate to say this, but it's a recurring theme. But there's some plague or something, or two or more factions are at war or something, and here we find our brave crew in the middle of everything.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
you want to know how I describe this one?
what's that?
Beavis and Butthead drugged out in space.
Uh, uh, That's funny. That's a good analogy. Yeah, this one is probably the weakest one of this week's batch, I would say. Fairly easy. It didn't suck bad. It was
Right.
just, the not all that great quality of season one. This is one of
Mhm.
them.
Yeah,
Filler, I guess, is what you would call it.
I kind of liked it in that Picard was like trying to figure out what was wrong with their ship and stuff, and the guy was like, I don't know. Yeah, that could be it. I don't know.
Right,
And
right, right.
it really kind of feed in the whole Beavis and Butthead kind of
That's
vibe of
awesome.
I just don't know.
Right, right.
And the one guy with his overalls kind of played into that. But yeah, the whole idea of there's like a drug that the one side of people are addicted to, and the other side of the people that are selling to them was kind of interesting. I kind of like that kind of aspect of it.
Right,
and
the sham.
mhm. And it was kind of interesting to see how Picard would end that situation, how he would play that out. So it was
Indeed.
kind of fun to see how that would play out. I can't say that any of the actors were all that great, but they really didn't have to be. Like
No.
I said, the one side just had to be Beavis and Butthead, and it's like, oh, I gotta have it, I gotta have
Right.
it. Exactly.
My bad, horrible impression there. But yeah, no. Yeah, it was good. It was good. It was just not as good as the other ones. Like it is what it is. Like this is in my opinion, it's more of like the filler. Interesting, nonetheless. But
Hmm.
with that being said, we're rolling up on the very end
Hmm.
of our trek through Tom's first trek through the Next Generation,
Yep.
and when we finish up, we will move on to start covering Strange New Worlds, which
Yep.
Thomas has found a very good interest in, and it
Hmm.
couldn't be more perfectly timed serendipity for us to move on to the next thing, but and then maybe revisit another series or something like that. We'll see. We'll keep it open ended.
Right.
But with that being said, please help us feed the algorithm gods. This is our caboose show, so to speak, of the week on Fridays here. Today is Friday, and we hope that you enjoy our content. If you'd like to comment, opine, good, bad, or ugly, like, dislike, whatever, we would love to hear from you, and maybe some ideas of what other sci-fi shows that you would be interested in hearing about. But in any case, with this week, I've been Mike,
I'm Thomas.
and we'll see you later.
Later.